All right, so I'm here with Brittany, and I'm excited to do this testimonial call with you because I've been following for you for years. You've been following me for years. So, it's nice to actually be able to work with each other in this capacity. So, first, just want to say thank you for taking the time to do this. And I wanted to give some background and some context on what made you actually decide to commit to coaching and to sign up for the group coaching program.
So for me, I've watched you for a long time with the matchmaking, and you always gave great tips about dating, and not just dating, but figuring out enough about who you were and what you were seeking in order to come to the conclusion of who you thought was the right partner and what you needed to be. And really that part, like what you needed to be, not so much what you were looking for. And so after all this time begging you to match me, when I saw that you were doing coaching and we talked, what actually convinced me to sign up for the coaching was that it's true, I've had access to all of this information all along, but I didn't have the level of accountability that I needed to execute and actually put these things to use. So with having the group calls and the check-ins and all that, it just gave me an added layer, like a push to actually take all this information, and not just that, but more access to more information to be able to apply it, and share in that experience. So.
Okay, awesome. So how has coaching been for you? Like, what has it been like? First, just talk about like the group calls. Is it scary for you? Like, was it uncomfortable for you to be able to open up and share? I feel like you jumped right in. Like, you were one of the people, like, you just worked it all out and just went all in on like the first call. So I actually think it was probably within your comfort zone to be able to just express yourself.
I think the only thing for me is that initially I was I felt like the odd one out because I am the only one who wasn't Muslim. And so I didn't know how well received by the other women that my experience would be, because I knew that my experience may look different than theirs, but I haven't encountered that in actuality. And so I feel comfortable talking with other women about women's stuff. So It didn't feel uncomfortable. It feels safe. It feels normal to be able to discuss amongst other women who are of similar situations, as a part of the same process. So
that's awesome. So what have you gained from coaching? Like, what has that experience been like for you? Like, it's only been a short time. Like, it's only been about 5 or 6 weeks now. And what have you already experienced? Like, what differences have you seen in yourself just in the first 6 weeks?
I feel like the first month, because it has been 6 weeks. So the first month, I feel like I really spent a lot of time figuring out more about me. And I think that the group and really the exercises really prompt you to spend a lot of time figuring out you and figuring out why. And I think that part was interesting for me, to just figure out why maybe some of my behaviors, some of the patterns that were coming up that I was seeing, why they were, and figuring out how to undo those. And so I really feel like that's what I've gotten the most, because I look at myself differently at this point, 6 weeks later, than I did coming into the program. Like, I feel like I view myself very, very differently, and feel a lot more empowered in who I am, and not feel as pressured. Like, I don't have anxiety about dating whatsoever at this point.
That's amazing. That makes me feel really good. That's like already just in 6 weeks. So, we talked about this in coaching, especially in the group coaching calls, but what would you say is like a major difference that you, like when you say the anxiety, like, can you just explain to someone who may be hearing this, like, what does that actually look like, or how did that actually feel to you before versus how you feel with meeting people and going through the process now? Like, what's the difference in just like emotionally how you feel?
I just feel, the anxiety felt like, for me, you go on a date or you interact with somebody, and I would immediately picture a whole entire life with this person and immediately emotionally invest in this hypothetical future. So then I would be really anxious about everything. Like I would be afraid to do the wrong thing, to mess up the trajectory of this made up relationship, or jump the gun and jump steps over getting to know the person and just not enjoy the process. And anytime that it didn't go right, especially if it was something that I knew was like a recurring pattern for myself, then I would feel guilty about it and like agonize over things. Whereas now I think that I'm just honestly enjoying the experience. Like before, if you asked me if I enjoy dating, I would have said no, I hate it. But I think that now I'm enjoying the process and I'm enjoying getting to know people. And I think on one of the group calls, you said to like look at every interaction as practice, or like just a new experience and take away from each experience. And I have, like, even the guy that I was dating coming into the program, like when I talk about that situation now, I'm able to be like, no, I tried several new cuisines with him. I did a couple of things that I had never done before. And so just changing that perspective where I did get something from it, and none of the journey is actually a waste of time.
Awesome.
So it feels
I love
better.
that. We talked about that. There's that mindset flip on that. I think the last call or somewhere within the last couple of weeks. So that makes me happy. It makes me feel really good to hear you say that. So how are things going for you right now? That's not trying to put too much of your business out there, but how are things going for you right now when it comes to, because I know you've been like working out, talking to different people. That was uncomfortable for you at first, but like how have things been going?
So I'm enjoying getting to know different people now. Like actually thoroughly enjoying just getting to know different people, interacting with different personalities, because it's also giving me a chance to, instead of just completely like automatically disqualifying people from like some obscure thing, I've been being more conscious about when I want to kind of dig a little deeper, like having value driven conversations, and really just getting clearer on my own values, so that way I'm aligning with values and not necessarily with the picture, but just making sure that we align in what it is that we actually believe, and not what we think is right or what we would like it to be, but what we truly believe, because that's going to be what we work towards, even if it doesn't look that way today. So that's what I've been focusing on. I just really just enjoyed, I think diversifying the portfolio has actually relieved a lot of the anxiety, because it just doesn't feel as much pressure like that this has to work, because it doesn't have to work. It's fine if it doesn't. We can just move along. So it feels a lot better. Like I feel more secure with myself going about dating right now.
That makes me excited. So I have so much faith in you when it comes to the program and just like where you'll be even like 6 months from now. Like I have so much faith in you because I've seen you consistently show up, consistently take action. You've been doing the inner work. You show up on the calls, you engage, like you share. Like I see that growth in you in such a short amount of time. So that's why I wanted to do this call with you, because I do feel like you've been really showing up for yourself, even when it comes to your career, you know, working through some personal goals, like you said, like doing a lot of work over the last 6 weeks and redefining who Brittany is and what Brittany wants, and feeling like it's a believable experience to have. Like I've seen that shift in you, like that empowerment, and even going from wanting to be chosen to being the chooser, like really stepping into that. Like you're doing such a phenomenal job of like embodying that whole entire principle and mindset. So I just wanted to make sure I share that with you. So thank you so much for doing this call. I know I'll be doing an update with you soon when you're all booed up and everything. So I look forward to that. But thank you so much for jumping on this call with me, Brittany.
All right, you're welcome. See you.
Got it? A second.
Okay.